Good evening, folks. It's time for more Spirit of Justice. So, last time we tried to do some more investigations and didn't really find much. Well, I mean, we found a lot of things, but I don't know if we found anything that's going to help us. And at this point, I think we've racked up so many multipliers on our level of punishment for this country's legal system that I'm not sure we're ever going to get out of hell or purgatory or whatever we get sentenced to. So, we might as well just keep going at this point. Maya looks exhausted, but I can't blame her. Nick, I was thinking about it all day yesterday. I never properly asked you to defend me, did I? Doesn't matter. I'm on this case till the bitter end. I know. That's why I wanted to officially ask you for your help. You got it, Maya. Let's do this. We gotta wrap this up and get back home so you can make your dream show come true. Steel Samurai versus the Plume Punisher, right? You bet. You look as if you did not sleep last night, barbed head. It's written all over your face. How can you expect to put up a respectable defense like that? I'm all fired up and raring to go. I guess Maya's not the only one looking exhausted. Raitha doesn't seem in the best spirits herself. Go ahead, feign confidence now while you are still able. For I will see to it that your last rites are read to you this day. Guess it was just my imagination. Ready, Nick? Okay, Maya, let's head on in. Time for day 2. Now then, if everyone is ready, the defense is ready, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. Oh, no prayers this time, Prosecutor Sadmati. I already offered my prayers for the latest victim during my visit to the crime scene. Being that the accused has already been found guilty of the first murder, let us hasten this trial so we may put this dead lawyer walking out of his misery. Man, everybody likes using that phrase, don't they? Could not agree more. In yesterday's trial, the accused was already found guilty of murdering the High Priest. Today, she will be tried for the murder of his disciple, Perez Zelat. Now then, Prosecutor Sadmati, your opening statement, if you would. Certainly. The accused has now slain 2 of the most devout clergymen in Kurainism. Even the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling, would not be punishment enough. Good. Then, what terrible fate awaits her? We don't even know. Balgil Pokan Hell, a realm of eternal... yeah, we did hit just, eternal punishment. Suffer the endless punishment of Jagar by the... Wow, I don't even know what these words are. Furthermore, Enough! My blood runs cold at the mere thought that such a terrible place exists. I was going to ask for a translation, but on second thought, ignorance is bliss. Now then, please continue, minus the part about the terrible hell awaiting the accused. As you wish. The victim of this heinous crime was the High Priest's disciple, Perez Zelat. They had been training under the High Priest while living at the priest's home. I had met him a number of times, and he seemed like an earnest young man. How tragic that he met such a terrible end. The murder occurred at the Plaza of Devotion during the purification rite. It was a bold crime carried out while the plaza was full of the faithful deep in prayer. The Warbad dagger was found impaled in the victim's upper back. Stabbing caused a spinal cord injury that killed him instantly. The Warbad dagger. Lady Kira's weapon of choice. Hey, Muffin. How's it going? Yeah, it is. Doubly so, since it's pretty cold up in the mountains. Not too bad. Figured I'd get in a... I don't know if I'll get in an entire chapter tonight, but I'll at least start on this trial. Get a couple hours of streaming in. How's things with you? We've already established that the accused prints were on the weapon. Incredibly damning evidence in itself. No, I didn't do it.
Objection.
Hold your tongue. Now, being that the accused, Maya Fey, is a serial killer, the prosecution believes that the death penalty is the only possible sentence. Wow, busy, productive day. Nice. Mostly just did work myself, so I'm just taking it easy. Regular office work, that is. The prosecution believes that the death penalty is the only possible sentence. I thought we were already... I thought we were already getting the death penalty, so I didn't realize this was going to be any different. The defense care to respond? The accused is innocent, and nothing can convince me otherwise. After all, the crime scene was packed with worshippers. How could my client possibly have committed this murder without a single witness? The accused's fingerprints on the murder weapon alone is enough to render a verdict. As such, I see no need to debate this any further. But... well, once her benevolence conducts her seance, it will be clear for all to see. Your Majesty, might I have a word? Something the matter, Prosecutor Sudmati. It is about the divination seance. Your benevolence. Stop right there, Prosecutor Sudmati. As you wish. Forgive me for overstepping my bounds. Okay, so the seance is going to give us an out, and he didn't want to show it because he knows that's what's going to happen. What's that all about? But she's like, nah, I'm going to defeat you. And she's so dead set on it that's going to be, it's going to give us our ray of hope. Barbed Head, have you made peace with your fate? For this time, the divination seance will bring you to your knees. I'm ready, and accept your challenge. The only problem is I have no weapons at my disposal. Our only hope now is what we can glean from the seance vision and Rafa's insights. Very well. Divination seance, if you please, your benevolence. Yes. Let us begin. Nea. I feel like she's got to have, like, wheels or something, so she can just glide in behind.
Oh, Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name.
Oh, right. I still have to hit the button. This is
Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
But yeah, just the way she like glides in. Like it'd be funny if she was like on a on wheels or something. That hand wiggle always is kind of amusing. Yeah, it's an impressive number of spins at the end. But yeah, I was just at that one part in the middle where her hands start windmilling. It always looks a little bit like she's like trying to regain her balance, but it's supposed to be deliberate, I'm fairly certain. All right, let's see. I don't get it. Why wasn't there anything to see? Your benevolence. What in the world? It's unable to evoke any sort of response. I called out the spirit's name many times, but to no avail. Just as I thought. Wait, what does he know that we don't? I had sought to confirm the contents of today's divination seance. After all, it is customary for the prosecutor to verify it beforehand. Oh, no worries. Have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. Come to think of it. Yeah, so they always presumably see this beforehand. And that is why I sought to stop her benevolence from performing it here. However, she insisted that it be done. She wished to try one more time here in the Hall of Justice. It would appear her benevolence is tired from her manifold duties. Not anything of the sort. The victim spirit will not answer my call, but I know not why. It is my sacred duty to convey the truth to the divination seance. Rifa, what are we to do without a divination seance? Suppose I shall have to deliver the last rites without them. The prosecution has already taken that into account when preparing for today. I'm fully capable of proving the accused's guilt with or without a divination seance. You never fail to impress, Prosecutor Sadmati. This is bad. The divination seance is my one and only hope. Your Majesty, her benevolence said she isn't tired. So shouldn't we try to find out why the divination seance failed? How curious, Mr. Wright. Why have you suddenly taken such a keen interest in the divination seance? Yes, explain yourself. The divination seance is for shedding light on an accused's crimes. It is the Holy Mother's hammer of wrath that is ever poised to pound you into your grave. You should fear it, not plead for it. I believe in my client. Plus, yesterday, somebody told me something that changed my mind. The divination seance was once thought of as just another piece of evidence. If we were to correctly interpret the visions through careful analysis, then they would lead us to the truth behind what really happened. And the truth will show us that my client, Maya Fey, is innocent. Truth is, you don't have anything else to fall back on, huh, Nick? Maya, please, you're not helping. How dare you? The voice of Amitama is to be feared, not utilized by vile lawyers such as you. Seances exact a heavy toll upon the royal priestess. It would be best not to burden her any further. Or does the defense feel that it can pose no counter-arguments without the seance? No, of course not. He saw right through me. I'll have to find a way to make the divination seance happen or we're toast. Well, since the divination seance is not possible at this time, I see no other choice. I wonder, maybe he's not actually who he said we thought he was. Because I think we learned yesterday that she needs to have his name and face, and obviously he has his face, so the only thing that would be wrong... Let's proceed with the trial without the seance as Prosecutor Submati suggested. Thank you, Your Majesty. Why, you? I will not forget this, barbed head. This will not be the last you see of me. Now then, I will now proceed by providing an outline of the case at hand. Very well. If the lead detective would please come to the stand, we may begin. Alright, looks like Emma's up. Sorry, Mr. Wright. Detective Skye, I understand how you would wish to save the accused and the defense. They are your friends, after all, but you must let them go and move on. But there's only one way to save them now, by giving their souls the chance to burn away the taint of their sins in the infernal flames. I can't do this. No eating in the Sacred Hall of Justice. Miss Skye. Yes? Don't worry about me and Nick. You just do your job. I'm sure Nick will figure something out, eventually. Right. Thanks, Miss Faye. Oh, very brave for a criminal with a tainted soul. Very well, Detective Skye. Please proceed. Okay, I can do this. Let me start with an overview of this case. His victim was Pore Zalat. He had been in training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years. The High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest. I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. Would the defense care to respond? I didn't spot any inconsistencies in her testimony so far. I don't have any evidence in my arsenal. What am I going to do now? What is it, Maya? Just wondering about how much the police actually looked into Acolyte Zealot, because it just might prove to be the key as to why the divination seance failed. What are you getting at? Well, it's just a hunch. I wonder if Maya's had the same hunch as I did. If I could figure out why it failed, maybe she could try it again. Maya, just tell him. You know what I know. You figured this out. Tell Phoenix.
Hold it!
What kind of person was Acolyte Zalat? According to the neighbors and others who knew him, he was a deeply devout youth. I too have heard his name mentioned as one who was a fervent practitioner. Suppose you might say he was the High Priest's star disciple. Furthermore, he had been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years. Okay, I think if anything it's going to be this one. Are you sure about that? We took statements from his neighbors and fellow monks. They all corroborate our initial findings. What about you, Maya? Well, when I first came here, I saw Zalat praying under the High Priest's instruction. I see. So the results of the police investigation seem to check out. Okay. Never mind. Believe in Me has identified the victim's body.
Hold it!
Is Miss and Me's positive ID the only way you verified the identity of the victim? Huh? Well, no. He also checked the ID card he carried and the data in his family registry. But what? His personal information didn't match didn't match any of the public records we cross-referenced. Here we go. Maybe that's why the divination seance failed. I'm not sure what you mean, Mr. Wright. Here's what I'm thinking. It's a fake name. The victim decided to hide his identity for some reason. In other words, he was using a fake name. The royal priestess uses the deceased's face and true name to summon their spirit. Why, yes, that is indeed true. If he was using a forged ID and there's no mention of him in our public records, then he was likely an illegal immigrant. They are not uncommon here in Kurain. An illegal immigrant. Come to think of it, Rafa mentioned something about immigrants yesterday. If that's the case, we have no way of knowing who he really is. We'll have to proceed without holding a divination seance this time. I'd always thought that Acolyte Zealot was Kurayanese. Oh, how the High Priest must be lamenting his disciples' deception in the Twilight Realm. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Should we add this to the testimony? I mean, we might as well. It's an important fact. Please add it to the testimony. It would seem to be a fact most inconvenient for the defense. But if you insist, Detective Sky, please add what you just said to your testimony. Yes, Your Majesty. He's an illegal immigrant, so we don't know his real name. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest.
Hold it!
Why hasn't that Lady Curious been going around capturing rebels? Sorry, Mr. Wright, but
Objection!
that verdict was already handed down in the previous trial. There's no longer a point of dispute, and I will not allow you to make it so. But no ifs, ands, and most of all, no buts. The accused was posing as Lady Kira, and she killed Acolyte Zealot because she mistakenly believed him to be a rebel. It's not true! Sorry, the verdict has already been read in that case. I have to assume that it's fact now. Now what do we do? Now I know why the divination seance failed, but nothing's really changed. Yeah, which means we're in big trouble. If he really was an illegal immigrant, it's going to be real hard to find out his real name. I guess our only choice is to give up on the whole divination seance thing. If only there was some way to find out the victim's real name.
Hold it!
Isn't there some way to track down his real name? No, not if he was an illegal immigrant. Have you actually confirmed that he was in Kurayan illegally? Well, we don't have any conclusive evidence. But there's also no evidence of him being a citizen of Kurayan either. Oh boy, now what do we do? What if there was a clue in the evidence you gathered? It's probably our only hope at this point. If he really was an illegal immigrant, our proverbial goose is probably cooked. Huh. So Maya with the clutch hint. Where would we have information about that? Okay. I think we've got one idea. It hasn't come up yet, but this might be a way out.
Objection!
Sorry, Detective Sky, but the police missed something important in their investigation. Huh? What are you talking about? The victim was undeniably a Kurayanese native. And this crime scene photo proves it. It does? It's a little hard to see, but look closely. You'll see clear proof the victim was Kurayanese. Where? I don't see anything that would prove that. I'm guessing it's this tattoo. Although we might be bluffing as to whether or not we know if it's important or not. This tattoo right here. Why, that's a tattoo of a peach. I would like you all to think about the meaning of this tattoo. Oh, the victim really liked peaches? Well, peaches are a favorite delicacy here in Kurayan. They happen to be a personal favorite of mine. The sweetness of their abundant nectars and the softness of their perfectly ripe flesh. They are a blessing from the Holy Mother herself. Nick, I've suddenly got a craving for peaches. After the trial, Maya. Right now we have bigger fish to fry. Unfortunately, that is not a tattoo of a peach. It is not a peach, you say? Then what is it? Take a closer look. Haven't you seen something like that before? Oh. Oh, I didn't see that. But now that I see it... Oh, man. Little details. This mark is only worn by members of the Kurayanese clergy.
Objection!
So that is what you believe it to be. But are they not utterly different shapes? Sure, they're shaped differently, but there's a reason for that. The victim had the peach-shaped tattoo inked over an existing tattoo for some reason. However, the dark red portion is exactly the same as the mark Al-Qura in his clergy bear. Hey, you're right. About 20-some-odd years ago, everyone did get one, didn't they? I myself bear one on my right. That is entirely too much information, Your Majesty. Information on everyone who enters the clergy is maintained at the temple. All we have to do is look up a monk with a mark in the same spot. I'm on it. I'll let you know if I get any hits. That will not be necessary. If you seek information on the clergy, I have it all right here. Oh my, you never cease to amaze. So, tell us, is there anyone who fits the bill? There's just one, and his name is... Damn it! Real Nebu. He became a monk 20 years ago. That must be the victim's real name. Why would he have tried to cover up his tattoo with another one? Yeah, there must have been some reason. Nick, that's not important right now. The important thing is we know his real name. You're right. Your Majesty, now that we know the victim's real name, the divination seance might finally work. Lawyer who willingly seeks a seance? This is entirely unprecedented. You are but digging your own grave, Defense. We won't know that until we try. Sure, it's risky, but it's our only hope. We're already at 1,000 million billion years of punishment, so... We're gonna have the cutscene again. Why would a lawyer work so hard to see the divination seance be held once more? You are a fool, Barbed Head, and your foolishness shall yield no gratitude from me. With the truth revealed by my insights, I shall gladly seek your demise. Bring it on, Princess, because I will correctly interpret each and every one of your insights. You'll regret ever thinking you could use my sacred insights as evidence.
O Holy Mother, let the eyes, dance
Okay.
so that we may...
We already saw this once. Okay, yeah, you can... Hey, it actually worked. Gil. Punisher theme. Heavy. Pain. Oh my. It's just as Mr. Wright surmised. Perezalot wasn't the victim's true name. Now at last we have seen the victim's final moments. But all we could see was the ground. I think I have an idea of where that's at. I seem terribly disappointed. I take it you did not find any fodder for one of your infamous turnabouts. I, on the other hand, have discovered something. Conclusive evidence that establishes the accused's guilt. You did? A most surprising surprise attack. So tell us, Prosecutor Sudmati, what is this conclusive evidence you have found? The Plume Punisher theme song that the deceased heard. Please consider this item here. It was confiscated from the accused during her interrogation. Hey, that's my Plume Punisher strap. When you press the Nagatama on the Plume Punisher's belt, I was wondering if this would come up. I didn't think it would be used against us. Seems the accused inadvertently pressed the button in the midst of her crime. This strap is an extremely rare item, is it not, Miss Fey? Better not break it. There's only one of those in the whole wide world. Maya, no. Yeah, but it's not the only thing that makes that noise. It's just as I said. Your flights of fancy have come crashing down on you. She sure seems to be enjoying this. Yeah, I've never seen her look so thrilled before, either. It's time to accept the fact that the divination seance is far more than mere evidence. It's the very truth that brings the hammer of justice down upon the accused. That is as conclusive as evidence can get. Now then, if there are no further objections...
Objection!
Of course there's an objection. Slow down there, your majesty. At least let me make a counter-argument. What's this? Do you take issue with the divination seance? Well, I have issues with it. I just don't know what they are. Come on, Phoenix. You know... It's never stopped me before. Divination seance is not the absolute truth. It only becomes the truth after it's been interpreted correctly. You do not know when you are beaten, do you, you foolish lawyer? I'm the only one who speaks for the Mitama of the deceased. If you believe there to be errors in my insights, then let us see you prove it. Alright. The victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the rite. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Then someone was there, and a theme to the plume Punisher filled the air. The accused held the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. The blade struck true, and in that instant, he departed from this world. Alright. Everything the deceased experienced in his final moments. Her benevolence's insights have painted a detailed picture, both vivid and true. I didn't notice any holes there. I noticed a couple. His insights are really stacked against us. Just have to go over each and every one of the deceased's sensations very carefully. The victim was offering up his prayers. Okay, so that might be a place to start, because it's not nighttime, because it's still something you can smell. Does that smell? Sound, touch.
Objection!
Oops, did not mean to hit that button. Yeah, I know. So I think that's one thing. I'm gonna say it's this.
Objection!
Was it really the night of the rite? What do you mean? It could not be otherwise. The accused slew Acolyte Zealot after killing the High Priest during the purification rite. The only problem is the deceased spirit does not corroborate that. What's this? Take a good look at what the victim smelled. Do you see how it says Gingil? Acolyte Zealot shouldn't have smelled any Gingil on the night of the rite. What do you mean? I can back up my statement with some evidence for you. I should explain how the victim could have smelled Gingil on the night of the rite. Yeah, because
Take that!
The High Priest's wife, Believe in Me, told me about the Feast of Blessings. The feast includes a number of Gingil-based dishes. They're only supposed to be served at a certain time the day before the rite. I believe you're right. I had completely forgotten about that. During the feast, the unique smell of Gengil pervades the entire kingdom. The fact that the victim smelled it means he was murdered between noon and 3 p.m. the day before the purification rite. Not so easily fooled. Did that autopsy report not make it clear? The estimated time of death was during the rite. Alright, I taught her about that yesterday. Forgive me, your benevolence. The estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change. What's this? Like, if a body was kept cold, the slowed rate of decay makes the death seem more recent. Why, I believe I have heard something of the sort before. If it is Mr. Wright claims, the estimated time of death in the autopsy report will have to be revised. Barbed head, you blinded me with science. Okay, that was a pretty good reference. Sorry. Wait, what am I apologizing for? No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours the day before the rite. Nevertheless, the murder weapon with the accused's prints on it is incontrovertible evidence. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. Well, now that has a contradiction. Why would it be dark if it was the afternoon? Time of death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible. Nick, change in the time of death is bound to cause some sort of an inconsistency. If I had something that showed what it was like on that day, I could really help. I mean, it's not dark.
Objection!
So I guess that's probably it. Change the date and time of the crime. It's caused a new inconsistency to surface. What's this? You are making that irritating face again. Cease that at once. Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. Now, let's focus on what is important, what the victim saw in his final moments. You have bats in the belfry, barbed head, there's nothing to see. The ground at the plaza was all that entered the victim's eyes. And that's what I find so strange. On the day before the rite, it should have been impossible to see that pattern on the ground. Possible, you say? Do explain. This piece of evidence shows why the plaza's ground was not visible that day. The weather was too bad. The newspaper has an article that is tiny in size but huge in importance. It says the ground was covered with thick white ice the day before the rite. What? But the victim did not see so much as an ice cube on the ground. Exactly. So we must ask, what was the victim looking at in his final moments? If you have something to say, then say it. The last thing the victim saw was not the ground at the Plaza of Devotion. This can only mean that he was killed elsewhere. What? Then where do you propose the victim was actually killed? Yes, tell us where, otherwise your argument is worthless. About that, I hadn't gotten to that part yet. Any ideas, Maya? Let me think. Well, somewhere green and shaggy, right? Right, where could that be? Guys, it's in the secret hideout, where the handprints were. What is it, Barbed Head? Giving up already? Not at all. Where have I seen something green and shaggy? It shows where the victim was killed.
Take that!
Yeah, it's literally in the photo. Secret hideout the rebels were using. The rebel hideout? There's no such place anywhere on the floor of that chamber. You're absolutely right. There's no place on the floor anyway. Where did the victim see in his final moments, if not the floor of the rebel hideout? Yeah, it's literally right here, guys.
Take that!
I don't know how you can't see this. The shaggy green surface the victim saw was one of the moss-covered stone slabs. As you can see here, there are two distinct hand-shaped impressions in the moss here. I believe the victim was killed while he stood there with his hands pressed against the slab.
Objection!
That does agree with the seance vision. However, one cannot definitively declare they are one and the same. I concur. There is no proof that a murder occurred in the rebel hideout. Indeed, what evidence do you have of this? I've already shown you the evidence. What do you mean? Please take a look at this second version of the photo I just showed you. You can see the results of the luminol test I performed in the rebel hideout. This is proof positive that someone had been bleeding in front of that stone slab. Is this true? This information has already been provided to the police. Detective Sky, to whom does this blood belong? We thought it was the High Priest's blood that flowed in from outside, so we haven't tested it yet. Then you must do so at once. Yes, Your Majesty. It appears the police have finished the testing the blood. Detective Sky, your report, please. The blood found in the rebel hideout belongs to Praise a Lot, just like the defense claims. Detective Sky, do you realize what your blunder has done to me? When this trial concludes, I want to see you in my prayer chamber. There I will deliver a joyous sermon unto you for 8 hours straight. Really sorry, but please anything but that. Nick, maybe, just maybe, this is the chance we've been waiting for. Yep, it would seem so. I hate to do this to Emma, but go for it. It's full speed ahead. The victim was killed in the rebel hideout the day before the purification rite. Then, his body was moved to the Plaza of Devotion by someone we've yet to identify. So, when we thought we saw Acolyte Zealot praying during the rite, he was already dead. And that's not all. If he was killed at the Inner Sanctum, that would explain one more thing. And that would be how the time of death was made to look later than it actually was, the proof of which was left behind at the Sanctum. This points to how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was. It's either this or this. I'm not entirely sure which one it is. I guess this one?
Take that!
Okay, maybe it's the other one. Let's test this idea on your body. Jiraiya's body may still be alive, but he appears very much brain dead. Alright, we'll try the other one. True time of death. No, I believe someone did. So this one then? Why, these are photos of the Inner Sanctum. I'd like you to focus on this one. The proof is right here in this photo. This is how the time of death was made to appear later than it really was. You see how the snow has been removed from this one spot only? That's because it was used to keep the victim's body cold. And that's why the time of death wasn't what it seemed. The time was mistaken, and the place too, and just what you believe that proves. That my client is innocent. What of her fingerprints on the dagger, and the plume Punisher theme the victim heard? You have failed to address these two key pieces of evidence. I mean, the dagger could have been if someone else murdered him, but they had if he was killed by something else, because planting the dagger would be possible without wiping the fingerprints off, and we already know where the theme comes from. This is your big chance, Nick. I'm really hoping the difference in location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme song from being used as evidence against you. Actually, that might be possible, at least for one of them. Really? What's this? You say you can contradict our argument for a key piece of evidence? Yeah, it's right there in the picture. Let's see you try. Take a good look at the rebel hideout photo. Yep. The offense can invalidate this piece of evidence. So, Punisher theme? How do you tend to support such a claim? Since the murder happened in the rebel hideout, there's something there that played the theme song other than my client's strap. Was it the strap? Is this true? It's the clock right there. Alright, I think we're getting some momentum here at least. So Punisher alarm clock. I believe the victim heard its alarm go off. Proof do you have the alarm went off?
Objection!
What proof do you have that it was my client's strap that played the stream song? Might twist the facts with your lawyerly wiles. Either way, the accused would still be guilty based off of her prints on the murder weapon. And here's what really happened. The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. The afternoon of the day before the riot. Well, there have been some twists and turns. That is the truth of what happened. Get anywhere until I can eliminate the dagger. Most impressive, your benevolence. I see no inconsistencies anywhere in the prosecution's case. No, there is one. What's this? You still claim to be there to be an inconsistency? Try as you might, the outcome will always be the same. The stone slab and hideout. Okay, this makes sense now. Afternoon of the day before the right. Is there in the... Still one thing unaccounted for.
Objection!
The victim was originally thought to have been stabbed while bent over in prayer. He was actually standing with his hands against the stone slab. So the question is, where did the sensation of something heavy come from? Yes, I see your point. Since the victim was standing, he couldn't have been held down. And tell us, Mr. Wright, what was that heavy sensation felt by the victim? It was the slab tipping over onto him. Thoughts, Maya? I agree, that sense of heaviness seems important, but it's also the matter of Zealot's hands on the stone slab. Why were they even there? They relatedly caused the heavy sensation. Yeah, he's trying to hold it up because it... I guess someone pushed it over on him? I just envisioned the state Zealot was in when he was killed. The cause of the heaviness the victim felt was... The only conceivable cause is the stone slab falling over, trapping the victim underneath. What? Oh, the stone slab came falling down on him, crushing him underneath. Right, that was the cause of the heavy sensation the victim felt.
Objection!
While your theory is impressive, you have overlooked a key fact. The victim was not crushed to death, rather he was stabbed. Oh yeah. Or do you claim that the dagger was plunged in after the slab had fallen on him? Plus, had the killer been behind the victim, they would have both been crushed together. Well, would you care to explain? Sure, I'd love to. That doesn't mean I can. How could the dagger have been plunged in after the slab fell on the victim? The killer couldn't have plunged the dagger into the victim after the slab fell on him. What if the murder weapon wasn't what we thought it was? Well, there were other weapons in the rebel hideout. The entrance to the hideout is right by the stone slab. There isn't enough space between the two to use any of the weapons found within. And that is the problem. There's not much space by the entrance, is there? That is literally the problem. The murder weapon wasn't the dagger. The dagger must have been plunged in the victim after he was already dead. It means he was stabbed at least twice, but the autopsy doesn't mention that. And he must have been stabbed in the same spot with something shaped like the dagger. Exactly. Defense care to offer an explanation sometime this century. It's right in that photo. In fact, yeah, I don't think there's anything else that better explains it. Isn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? Something that is shaped similar to the Warbod dagger? Present your evidence this time, Mr. Wright. It shows what really killed the victim.
Take that!
Is this not the photo from the scene of the High Priest's murder? Are you suggesting the murder weapon is hidden herein? I mean, I thought it was this one at first, but this is the one that's covered in blood. That is the Warbod statue. Exactly. The Warbod statue has dagger-like feathers protruding from it. That is what really took the victim's life.
Objection!
You imbecilic fool. The statue is outside of the hideout. How do you propose to impale someone who is inside? Haven't you heard? The Warbod statue also functions as the hideout's door. Yeah, it'll spin around. When you go inside, it spins around and then it'd be facing the other way. Complete switcheroo. To put it simply, it's a revolving door. Why, that makes perfect sense. Therefore, I believe the truth behind the divination seance to be this. As the victim entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling toward him. He threw up his hands to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Unfortunately, the Warbod statue was right behind him. This cannot be. But the accused's fingerprints were found on the dagger. She had held it while rehearsing for the rite, which is when her prints got on it. This is a shocking turn of events, but there was a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favor. I believe we must accept that the Warbod statue is what killed the victim. Now that we know how Acolyte Zealot really met his demise, there's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime. Nice work, Nick. How can this be happening yet again? Divination seance is the only truth. Know your benevolence. It's not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth. Do you understand now? The kingdom needs lawyers so they can interpret your insights. But that means I have been misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time. Your benevolence, are you unwell? All the color's drained from your face. Yeah, now oh man, now she's like, oh, how many more of these have been wrong? And I've just... Now she suddenly has the weight of who knows how many people she may have accidentally sent to their deaths that were innocent. Oh boy, somebody's about to have a terrible reckoning. I will be fine. Continue your proceedings without me. Ooh. Yeah, that's gonna be rough for her. Kind of bad for her. Now then, I would have the defense continue. Please explain what you have learned now that we know how the victim actually died. Acolyte Zealot was killed in the hideout before the High Priest's murder. That means the body found at the Plaza of Devotion was moved there by the real killer. But only after the Warbod dagger was thrust into him, to make it look like the murder weapon. That does seem to agree with what we now know, but why would the real killer go to such lengths? I believe stabbing Acolyte Zealot's body with the dagger and moving it to the plaza was... to make it look like this. I don't think it was this. I don't think it was this. To make it look like a serial murder. An attempt to make my client look like a serial killer. That's right, the real killer planned all of this. This forged serial murder case. I did? That's it, Nick. Keep hammering away. Here comes the counterattack. Your reasoning is more wholesome than that cheese you foreigners so enjoy. What? Those putrid hole-riddled clumps of curds that only a rat like you could love. Hey, Swiss cheese is alright, man. Reasoning, much like your putrid hole-riddled brain, is putrefied. Wow, he's upgraded from putrid to putrefied. What's his deal with things going putrid? He's like a foolish fool of a foolish fool of... whatever. I'm making a joke about Francisco over using the same word. That's the point. I've yet to overturn my argument that the accused is the killer. A careful analysis of the chain of events up to the killing exposes the truth as follows. Disguised as Lady Kira, the accused found the rebel hideout the day before the riot. But Acolyte Zealot had followed her there, and after noticing her suspicious behavior. Caught by surprise, she pushed the stone slab toward him, and we know the rest. Yeah, but how did she get in? Never been to the rebel hideout in my life. When the high priest arrived at the sanctum the next day, he realized what she had done. That is when the accused murdered him in order to silence him. I think Prosecutor Samadi has posed a compelling scenario. Defense, on the other hand, has yet to disprove the accused's guilt.
Objection!
Why would my client move Acolyte Zealot's body to where everyone could see it? And why would she stab the dagger with her fingerprints into his dead body? She had no reason to do any of those things. The dagger in his corpse was likely a warning to the rebels. Something along the lines of, Lady Kira will slay the defiant dragons. So that is why she moved the body to the plaza for all to see. Is the judge convinced too? Thought I finally made some headway. Well, Mr. Wright, about time for one of your groans of distress, is it not? A groan of distress? It kills me to admit this, but I've got nothing to counter his argument with. I still haven't disproven the allegations against Maya. Is it not time to end your futile struggle? You were already judged guilty yesterday. That makes you a dead lawyer walking. Accept the death that now awaits you, and in doing so, finally know peace. A dead lawyer walking, indeed. Then again, are not all lawyers who practice in Kurain? But I must admit, I misspoke earlier. Allow me to amend my statement. I had said that the defense's reasoning had a putrid cheese-like smell, but I now realize the stench was from his own putrid body on the verge of death. I'm a rotting zombie. Think, who could have killed Zealot the day before the riot? Who knew about the rebel hideout and could gain access to the inner sanctum? I mean, we got that orb. Didn't that belong to the high priest? So wouldn't it have been him? Only those involved with the rite can enter the sanctum, so... Wait a second. Only a rebel would have known about the secret hideout, and the only person who was involved with the rite, had access to the sanctum, and was suspected of being a rebel is... Something come to mind? Yes, except there's one huge problem. A huge problem? What are you two going on about? Plotting your escape from the sacred hall? Would not put it past you, considering you have no means to raise further objection. If I don't do something, Prosecutor Samadi will have this one in the bag. I'll just have to bluff my way out of this, regardless of that huge problem. Your Majesty, I believe there is another suspect in Perez Zealot's murder.
Objection!
Even the most benevolent Holy Mother would not forgive such a desperate lie. After all, you know very well that such a person does not exist. No, there is one person who knew everything. If such a figure truly exists, tell us, who might that be? I believe the prime suspect in Acolyte Zealot's murder is...
Take that!
the other guy who died. Oh boy. Yeah, because, I mean, he like, Maya couldn't have got in there. She didn't know how to get in. The High Priest. He could have committed the crime if it occurred the day before the rite. You would pin a crime upon the dead, knowing very well they tell no tales. Have you no shame? Dead men tell no tales. That is definitely a problem. If only the High... Hey, Maya! Do I have something on my face? Did this actually work? Oh no, don't tell me I have some of my breakfast caught between my... No, if there's even the slightest possibility, I'll have to go with it. Your Majesty, dead men do tell tales. Therefore, I'd like to request the High Priest's testimony. His test... Oh, this is gonna be fun. Just how do you propose we get the deceased to testify? There's a way for the dead to testify. It's known as... Summon in here by means of spirit channeling. What did you just say? Spirit channeling? Is the lawyer finally gone insane? Sacrilege! May the Holy Mother strike him down. Peace. I am frankly astonished you even know of such a thing. Spirit channeling is a secret art that only Her Eminence Queen Garan can perform. And Her Eminence is far too busy with other duties to perform it at our pleasure. Suspected as much. That means our only hope is... It's okay, Nick. You can tell them. But Maya, I thought you wanted to keep it secret here in Khura'in. Don't worry. It's not like it's against the law or violates some religious precept, so... I don't think we'll be punished. At least, I hope not. This is a crucial period for you. It'll decide whether you become Master of Khura'in. Khura'in. We don't have any other choice now, do we? If I'm found guilty, it'll be a lot worse than not becoming Master of Khura'in. Alright, thanks, Maya. Actually, there is someone here who is capable of channeling spirits. But even Her Benevolence Princess Rafa finds the divination seance to be a challenge. Who could possibly have greater spiritual power than she, aside from the Queen? That would be... me. Is this some sort of a joke? A foreigner cannot possibly have such power. The Royal Priestess isn't capable of such a feat. Peace, peace, I say. Is this true? Is the accused capable of performing the secret art of spirit channeling? Well, yes. Yes, I can. Now, Your Majesty, we'd like your permission to begin. Oh, she's not gonna like this. Your Benevolence. This is an outrage, I say. First, you make a mockery of the divination seance, and now spirit channeling? Benevolence speaks the truth. Spirit channeling is a sacred rite. Devils, I say they should be put to death immediately. Still your voices. Barbed head, spirit channeling is a most sacred and secret of arts. Are you prepared to face the consequences of what you propose? Yes, I am. Benevolence, are you saying you approve of their use of spirit channeling? I will judge whether their claim is true. If this is but another of their lies, they shall be executed on the spot. Very well then. Your Benevolence. What if the accused accidentally calls forth an evil spirit? You truly believe this foreigner is capable of channeling spirits? Oh, no, but I wanted to be sure, as I am responsible for the safety of all present. You know, good on him for thinking of that. An experienced practitioner could inadvertently call forth a dangerous spirit. I do not fear, for I have Magatama of Parting. With it, I can send spirits back to the Twilight Realm by halting the flow of spiritual power. That is a relief, indeed. These foreigners have thrown down the gauntlet. Let us not shirk from their challenge. We must prove them guilty and deliver their last rites. Do I make myself clear, Prosecutor Sadmati? Perfectly, Your Benevolence. Very well, the accused may channel the High Priest's spirit. But first, we must take a short recess to prepare. We'll resume as soon as the preparations are complete. Until then, this court is adjourned. Oh boy. Well, I gotta keep going on this one. Sorry, Maya, but this was the only way. You sure you're up for this? Thanks for believing in me, Nick. Even though I don't know if my channeling ability is on point yet. Oh, right. Before she started training here, her success rate was only about 30%. I know you can do it, Maya. At least, I hope she can. So you sure you're ready? Yeah, at least, I think so. You don't sound so confident. What about all your training? Training's one thing. Actually doing it is another. Oh, I see. Uh-oh. If she fails to channel the High Priest, we're as good as dead. Relax, Nick. You can count on me. I'll show you what my training's done for me. This will be a moment you never forget. Okay, I just hope it's unforgettable in a good way. As we hear Abbott Inme's story, I'm sure the truth will come to light. I hope so, but he was hiding the fact that he was a rebel, so I doubt it'll be as cut and dried as all that. They're ready for you. Please return to the Hall of Justice at once. Okay, Maya, I'm counting on you. You got it. Here we go. Well, everything's riding on this. We've received official approval for the accused to channel a spirit here today. Now, if you will, Miss Fey, please proceed. Yes, Your Majesty. Can't believe this. Even the Queen should channel spirits. Execute them. Put them to death right now. Come on, Maya. I'm counting on you. I've been studying here in Kurain for 2 years now. That one day I will be the master of Kurain, a village of spirit mediums back home. But first, I shall show you all the fruits of my training in your kingdom. Wow, she seems really confident. A neophyte practitioner such as you could not possibly channel a spirit. Okay, Your Benevolence, how about this? If I succeed, will you stop calling me a neophyte? Very well, if you succeed. Oh, I will. Just you watch. Spirit of trust in me, slumbering in the Twilight Realm, return now to the world of the living. Well, we actually get to see the, Usually she just sort of appears. As the other. Wow. What is this place? Oh my. No, this cannot be. Poor Krunka. It's the High Priest. The accused really can channel spirits. I don't believe it. The accused's spiritual power is the real deal. Go, Maya. I do not understand. This cannot be. This simply cannot be. I must step out now before I forget myself. Abbott Inme. Would this be the Twilight Realm? What of this luxurious mane of hair? Okay, that was pretty funny. Is it perhaps a gift from the Holy Mother for decades of faithful service? Abbott Inme? My, but if it isn't His Majesty, have you too shuffled off that mortal coil? Please, do not count me among the dead. It is only you who has passed on. The spirit medium, Maya Fey, has brought you back among us today. But why? Acolyte Fey has mastered the secret art of spirit channeling? I suppose that explains these gorgeous locks. Getting hung up on the hair. When I pass from this world, I too hope to be channeled with a full head of hair. It would be for the briefest of moments. Okay, that's pretty funny. Give thanks for the splendid coiffure. How do we pronounce that? Praise be to the Holy Mother. However, this kimono is a bit too snug for my tastes. If you would excuse me. Well, he is a guy now, so I'm gonna have to remember to fix that when this stops. There, that is better. Do his testimony now. I wish he kept his top on. Why, you are that foreign lawyer the people speak of as of late. Is this not the Hall of Justice? Why have I been summoned here? Forgive us for calling you back from your eternal rest. But you have been accused of murder. Might we ask you to testify on your own behalf? I've been accused of murder? That is troubling indeed. Ah! What's with that crazy pose? This really cause for such astonishment. The lowliest of monks can achieve such body control with the proper training. Oh, I wonder if I'll be able to do that someday. Will the defense please explain the situation to the High Priest? I'd be happy to. Your disciple, Pere Zealot, has been murdered. It happened on the day before the Purification Rite. And the crime occurred in the rebel hideout hidden within the inner sanctum. Acolyte Zealot? He has been killed? Who would do such a thing? Someone who knew of the hideout and had access to the inner sanctum. In other words, you, Abbot and me. After all, weren't you secretly a rebel? Oh dear. It's still Maya's body. I hope he doesn't break anything. Wow, the High Priest is amazing! I think he had mastered such an advanced prayer pose. He's still worthy of our veneration, even if he is a rebel. Praise be to the Holy Mother! Praise be to the Holy Mother! Oh my, have my rebel allegiances been exposed? Not even my wife knew of that. It seems to rest in peace is not my fate. Why did you, a devout priest of Kurayanism, join the rebellion? The High Priest has come back to us for but a brief time, Defense. Shall we not cut to the chase and ask the most pressing of questions? Oh, right. Abbot Inmate, the prosecution believes the one who slew both you and Acolyte Zealot to be Maya Fey, who had been playing the role of Lady Kira in the rite. Being that I was dead until just a moment ago, my memory is a bit hazy. Could you please do your best to remember?
Objection!
The High Priest says his memory is hazy. It's all coming back to me. It is as Prosecutor Sudmati concluded. I was slain by none other than Maya Fey. High Priest's statement has proven my assertions with regards to his murder correct. No. What about Acolyte Zealot? You were the one who killed him, weren't you? I know not about my disciple's murder. Furthermore, I have an alibi of my own. An alibi? Seriously? Ha 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 ha. It seems the testimony the defense had been hoping for is working against him. Now, Abbot Inmate, your testimony, if you please. Yes, of course. I have an ironclad alibi for the time during which the murder took place. Just past noon on the day before the rite, I was entertaining guests at my home. I believe my guests can corroborate this. You had guests, just past noon. That's right about the time Zealot was murdered. You sure about that? Absolutely. Come to think of it, Rafa told me about a spirit's memory. The spirit's memory is cut off at the moment of death, so even a spirit that is brought back after centuries doesn't sense any gap in time between the moment of its death and the moment it is channeled. Yes, and yet it clearly recalls all of the memories it had in life. The High Priest seems to know exactly what he's talking about. So the question is, what would be the best angle of attack? use the word alibi as if it were second nature. Are you perhaps mocking me? Or is it perhaps the kingdom of Kuraiden itself you wish to ridicule? Come on, everyone and their grandma knows what an alibi means. We're not a bunch of country bumpkins here. Plenty of courtroom dramas on TV. Peace, 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 I say. Mr. Wright, would you care to clarify your last statement? Please, don't take it the wrong way. It's just, alibi is a rather technical term for a priest to use so naturally. I assure you, I know how to use the term. In fact, I had even hoped for a chance to do so one day. I suppose that even I, a high priest, am not immune to such trivial worldly attachments. Oh, I see. Still, he seems unusually calm and composed. It's almost as if he prepped himself for something like this. Past noon on the day before the rite, I was entertaining guests at my home.
Hold it!
Guests, and you were entertaining them personally. That I was. We gathered around the table for a most enjoyable conversation. Says guests could corroborate his alibi. Can't be good for our case. You sure that was the same day as the murder? Maybe you've misremembered. Ka! Do not doubt my mnemonic faculties. Whoa. I may have died, but my memories up to that point are crystal clear. Sorry, he's pretty thin-skinned for a priest. I guess I should have known better than doubt his memory. His memory's cut off. Yeah, I get it. Spirit was brought back after centuries doesn't city happened. There must be something about that. How would him not having the gap in time be... Because that's the second time that's been brought up now. It's nothing better than enjoying Gingyo cuisine with dear friends. That way everyone's breath comes equally malodorous. Right. I believe my guests can corroborate this.
Hold it!
Exactly were your guests that day? Don't tell me they were rebels, so they can't be called here to testify. There's none other than His Majesty, along with his family. He couldn't attend the rite due to work, so he stopped by ahead of time. My, how his daughter has grown. Wait a second. Let me set the record straight right now. I am not a rebel. Thank you for that wonderful meal, Abbot in me. Lady Envy's cooking simply cannot be beat. So there you have it. When exactly was His Majesty at your home? He was there from 2 to 3 p.m. Indeed, precisely the time period within which Acolyte Zealot was slain. Yes, and we had a rousing chat concerning a game of Kachu Damal. Huh. I'll just have that added to the testimony. After all, it was I who visited the High Priest's home. I guess that day were His Majesty and his family. They visited from 2 to 3 p.m. During the Feast of Blessings on the day before the rite.
Objection!
Okay, it must be the other one then. I don't know about trials in your country, but we refrain from such rash outbursts here. Perhaps this will deter any future urges you might have. Okay. So it's not that one. Figuratively and literally. Okay, the family photo was taken during the... I mean, that also says that.
Objection!
No, it's not this one. I mean, it could also be the autopsy report. You can point your finger as much as you want, but you're simply wasting your time. Pitiful sight to see a lawyer who doesn't know what he has beat. Okay, so if it's not those specifically... Maybe it's this then?
Objection!
No. I think I know what the issue is, I just don't know what the right thing to... Yeah, you have a problem. Am I gonna have to do the thing again? Okay.
Hold it! Hold it!
Right, it was definitely the Feast of Blessings. It's not the autopsy report. It wasn't these two. Just past noon, the day before the rite. Corroborate this. Is for the magistrate division from 2 to 3 p.m. So that would have been the 8th. mean, if it's not one of these, it's not this, I don't know what else it would be. Family photos taken during the Feast of Blessings where it's customary to partake.
Hold it!
Okay, so it's the judge. Maybe this one with.
Objection!
Might have to get. Wait, who am I going to consult about this? Maya's not here. I can't find any inconsistencies in there. Maybe I just don't have enough information yet. Should try pressing a witness some more.
Hold it!
Your Majesty, are you sure this testimony is completely Oh. Sure can be. Oh, how wonderful it is to finally have my actions be admissible as evidence in court. His Majesty was at my home during the exact time period of the murder. Come, let us put this behind us. I could not have possibly committed this crime. How can you be so sure? What if the clock or watch you were using was off, or you misread the time? There was a clock right near the table, and it had the exact same time as my watch. Now do you understand, lawyer? I'm going to attack his alibi. What are you... Oh, right. She's kind of busy right now. What? Is there something on my face? No, not at all. I just have to start chipping away at that statement about his alibi.
Hold it!
No, it's not this. As you can see, my alibi is airtight, but you still think I could have killed the Catholic zealot. His Majesty's a witness? Are you satisfied now? There's not a single discrepancy in Abbot and me's alibi. Give up now, it's all over. Now hold on a second. There's anything wrong with the High Priest's testimony. There is a discrepancy in the High Priest's testimony. There is? Well then, perhaps you could explain what it might be. This is what was wrong with his testimony. Oh! How did he... We just summoned him. How did he know when the time of the crime happened? He hasn't had any of the information prior to this trial. How did he know that when the thing even happened? Oh, that was a tricky one. Drab that in me was channeled. No one ever stated what time Acolyte Zealot was murdered. Now that you mention it. Despite that, you claim to have an alibi from 2 to 3 p.m. That means you knew that Acolyte Zealot was dead when you were still alive. I saw something just now. No, I must be imagining things. Almost scared him out. Tell me, how do you know what time the crime had been committed? About that. Open your heart. Let the Holy Mother in. Why, you've been blessed with the High Priest's sacred words of prayer. All who serve her holiness must strive to banish worldly desires from their soul. Open your heart. Let the Holy Mother in. Purge your mind of greed and bias. Feel as if my very soul has been cleansed. You can't fool me. Prayer may banish worldly desires, but it can't make the contradiction disappear. One moment. How can you be so sure? What's that supposed to mean? The lawyer seems to think a little of the power of Kure in his prayer. Evidently was at home during the crime, but knew of what happened at the hideout. I believe this can be explained thusly. He must have had a way to monitor the hideout from his home. I think there was a microphone there, actually. You never cease to amaze, Prosecutor. He surmised there was a listening device installed. Yeah. Enable me to instantly learn of anything unusual even when I was not there. Remember, the rebels had been using this as a top-secret hideout. It would be perfectly natural for them to install such an apparatus. Wait, come to think of it, when I was searching the rebel hideout... Yeah... Microphone... That was a listening device. It starts recording whenever it detects movement. I heard just as the recording after His Majesty and his family left. If you look at the desk in my study, you will find the tape in question. Alright then. Bailiff. Yes, Your Majesty. Go retrieve the tape in question from the High Priest's home. At once, Your Majesty. Power of Kurayanist prayer. The power of surveillance devices. Even a putrid brain such as yours should understand it now. It's like the contradiction really did vanish. We shall ascertain the content of the recording once we have the tape. In the meantime, I would ask Abbot Inmee to continue with his testimony. Very well. Entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and a woman quarreling. It sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zealot and Acolyte Faye. After that, there was a loud noise followed by haunting silence. To find some way to attack his alibi. But seeing her like this is only creeping me out. When the High Priest was a rebel, he was still a Kurayanist holy man. Therefore, take care in your questioning lest you invoke the ire of our people. As if this wasn't hard enough already. Nice try, but I'll stop at nothing to find the truth. I was entertaining his...
Hold it!
You were entertaining His Majesty and his family during the crime? Indeed, my wife Believe was treating them to her wonderful home cooking. Your wife was there that day? Why yes, she was in the kitchen cooking up a storm the entire time. Come to think of it, I don't think I saw her at all that day. She takes her culinary duties most seriously, you see. That's why she was in the kitchen cooking without pause the entire day. The judge never saw Ms. in me. Should I have added me add that statement to his... Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish. Uh-oh. Can come back to that one.
Hold it!
You heard everything from recording? Indeed. Each night I would secretly check what the listening device had recorded. I would have been in serious trouble with my lovely wife as she discovered my secret. Can you really tell what happened by the audio alone? Long years of ascetic training have sharpened my hearing. It's but a simple matter for me to ascertain the situation by the sounds I hear. Practicing Kuranism improves your hearing? Hearing is but one of the senses that can improve. If one can focus and attain inner peace, all 5 senses can be sharpened. Why, the warbot over in the bazaar just cried. Did you not hear it? Give me a break. It sounded like an altercation between acolytes.
Hold it!
Hold on. Are you sure about those voices? Is it really Acolyte Zealot and Miss Faye? I'd say that was the most reasonable conclusion under the circumstances. Or perhaps Acolyte Faye has an alibi that you can prove? I'm afraid not. I suggest you make like a mollusk and clam up. Now I will continue my testimony if I may. After that, there was a loud noise followed by haunting silence.
Hold it!
That's worth looking into. It was a terrible crashing sound. Poor Acolyte Zealot. It must have felt so heavy. It must have been the sound of that stone slab falling over. Should I have him add that statement to his testimony? Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish.
Hold it!
What was your wife making that day? Menu that day featured hot and space and hot and spicy and melted mouth. They're both traditional Kuranese dishes. Can't begin to imagine what those are. Ah, yes. The exquisite zest of hot and spicy and the supreme texture of melted mouth. Lady Envy's cooking that day was utterly unforgettable. Thank you. It brings me great joy to know you enjoyed your meal. Now, once His Majesty and his family had left...
Hold it!
You believe that terrible crash is connected to Acolyte Zealot's death? Yes, the sound no doubt was poor Zealot's death knell. Such a tragedy, for he was a fine disciple. I ask all here today to give a prayer for his departed soul. Sashire Matami Yama. I had high hopes for that young man's future. Why do I feel like such a jerk for just trying to do my job right now? Mr. Wright. Do you still feel the need to question the High Priest? His alibi is as tight can be. This isn't going so well. I better ask him about something else. Curious Abbot in me. Did you stop by the rebel hideout after His Majesty left? Yes, I thought it would be wise to assess the situation. As I said before, there was nothing to see. The hideout appeared as it always had. And the victim's body? Was nowhere to be found. Acolyte Faye must have already disposed of it and anything else incriminating. So, when you saw the rebel hideout, it looked like it does in this photo. Yes, I would say that is how it appeared that day. The stone slab had been put back in place. Mr. Wright, this is not time to concede defeat. No, wait, I just need a little more time. If you insist.
Hold it! Hold it!
Don't think this will work, but
Objection! Objection!
look at me, you said, and I quote, "Poor Zealot, it must have felt so heavy." Why do you think he felt something heavy? Said the hideout looked like it did in this photo. So there's nothing that would lead you to believe he had experienced a heavy feeling. Exactly. That's what the problem was. Okay. Fact is, of course, the stone slab did fall over onto Acolyte's Lot, impaling him on the Warbod statue behind him. But that was only revealed through her benevolence's divination seance earlier. Defense, please get to the point. My point is simply hearing a crashing sound shouldn't have automatically led him to conclude the victim was crushed to death. I still don't see your point. I'm saying the High Priest knew. He knew how the victim was really killed. Why? And that is information only the real killer could have known. I definitely saw at that time that the High Priest's spirit shaking in his boots, or should I say, sandals.
Objection!
Need I remind you, Abbott, he was with his magistrate at the time of the crime. Such an alibi precludes him from being the killer. That's true, so he can't be the killer. However, he knew how Zealot was killed, something only the killer could know. Can this discrepancy be resolved somehow? Well, Mr. Wright, we're waiting for an explanation. Oh, I don't know if I like where this is gonna go. Just getting back, trying to think of something quick. High Priest knew something only the killer could have known because... This is going to be unfortunate if it's the case. You must have heard how the victim died from the real killer. The real killer? Of course, that makes perfect sense. I don't want to believe it, but this is the only possible explanation. So tell us, who is this real killer? It's gotta be someone... Oh no. And we just found out someone didn't have an alibi. Oh, this is gonna be rough.
Take that!
Magistrate, while you were visiting the High Priest's home, you didn't see Ms. Inmi at all, did you? No, I never saw her, but what does that have to do with anything? Did the High Priest ever leave your sight? No, we were talking the entire time, and the food was brought right to the room's entryway. So, the High Priest has an ironclad alibi, but his wife does not. What the devil are you insinuating? I'm insinuating that Ms. Inmi might have killed Acolyte Zealot.
Objection!
You have a lot of nerve making such a baseless allegation. She had no motive to kill Acolyte Zealot. It was like family to her. No, we can't entirely discount the idea. Especially if you consider that Ms. Inmi could have been the one posing as Lady Kira.
Objection!
Even a fool must temper his foolishness at times. Or do you truly believe Lady Kira would kill Acolyte Zealot, though he was not a rebel?
Objection!
As we all know, the High Priest was secretly a rebel. It would follow that his favorite disciple could very well be a rebel too. Are you suggesting that Ms. Inmi killed her husband as well? As sad as it is to think she'd kill her own husband to rid the kingdom of rebels. Hey, Tormuse. I don't think we can rule it out. Oh man, you did come in during an exciting time. Yikes. Claim my wife is that rebel hunting Lady Kira? And that she slew both Zealot and myself? My lovely wife? That is utterly impossible. I've never seen the High Priest so angry. It is as Abbott Inmi stated. The accused has already been found guilty of his murder. It's far too late to overturn it. That's right, Mr. Wright. Yeah, really. Apologize to the good priest before he gets angry again. Quickly now. No, I'm not going to apologize. The true identity of Lady Kira is a major piece of this trial's puzzle. Admit it happened in me. Your wife, Lady Inmi, killed you. Yet even now you continue to lie in an effort to protect her. How absurd. It appears the lawyer has forgotten. My lovely wife could not possibly battle the rebels under the guise of Lady Kira. But we are blessed by her holiness, and she is with child. Praise be to the Holy Mother. I completely forgot about that. That abominable Lady Kira figure who slew me an acolyte zealot was the accused. This is bad, but I can't give up now. Don't forget, my client doesn't have the strength to fight rebels either. Yep, that's actually my, we found out that it was possible that he knew he might have been the killer of, his disciple, so we wanted to talk to him, but the only one who can do it is Maya, so she's currently summoned him, and now he's got an alibi, but his wife doesn't have an alibi, so now we're trying to essentially pin it on his wife. Oh boy. How about a weak young woman like her? Yeah, that's not gonna work. Because if she's shown she can channel spirits, you foolish oaf of a lawyer. If only you were as blessed as Lady Inmate. What? Surely the accused possesses the strength, or should I say, the power. The power to battle those black-hearted rebels. What are you talking about? My good prosecutor, I see you have come to the same conclusion as I. Such keen insight. And you have figured it out as well, evidently. May I ask you to explain it to this putrid-brained lawyer? Certainly, for I come along to frame my lovely wife for murder. Your Majesty, allow me to testify as to how Maya Fey is that murderous Lady Kira. Well, if it would assuage your anger, by all means, please testify. Yeah, it's getting close to dinner time, so she's getting angry. She's as angry as the High Priest. Not really. Fate channel. Yeah, that's... Okay, well, this is actually... Maybe knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have done it. This was the way Lady Kira returned to root out the rebels among us. She attacked and killed me with strength far beyond any mortal woman. But do you understand now? Murder by spirit channeling explains everything. It's the only way. This is the only way they. Yeah, you know, he's very practiced at that sort of thing. Could have defeated one rebel after another. Indeed, I am living, or shall I say, dead proof of her terrible power. His ability to channel spirits has come back to haunt her. Now, is it not time to let it go and move on, Defense? No, never. I'll never give up. Now what? Think. How can I prove that Maya couldn't have channeled Lady Kira? Channel Lady Kira, isn't that a little far-fetched? Far-fetched, you say? Why, the very fact that I'm here proves she has the power to channel spirits. But you've no proof she actually channeled Lady Kira. Oh, but I do. She's a spirit medium who knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have done it.
Hold it!
While it's true she may be capable of channeling Lady Kira, I doubt there's any proof she actually did. We're talking about the infamous rebel hunter here. That modern-day Lady Kira's captured many a rebel all by herself, and among them have been more than a few great warriors. Who but the real Lady Kira could have accomplished such a feat? It would be difficult for a mere mortal. At least the real Lady Kira of legend is the only likely answer. Indeed, is this not proof enough that the real Lady Kira of legend has been channeled? The real Lady Kira of legend, that's an oxymoron if I've ever heard one. And again, the people of Kurain believe legends to be true. So, it was the real Lady Kira who returned to root out the rebels.
Hold it!
Lady Kira is an actual person. Do you really believe there ever was a woman that powerful? And capable of battling rebels much bigger and stronger than herself? There's no way to prove that, but to doubt the existence of Lady Kira is to doubt Kurainism itself. It is not for us to question, we must simply believe. Phoenix Wright, blasphemy after blasphemy. I won't get anywhere until I can refute their claims with some evidence. Okay, I think I'm starting to get an idea of where to go with this.
Hold it!
Strength far beyond any mortal woman? And just how strong would that be? I need but look at the wounds she inflicted upon my body. Though I'd hoped never have to think about that again. Wound. It's pretty deep. There was a tremendous amount of blood. While Acolyte Zellick was rather small in stature, he was strong. Nevertheless, he was no match for the sheer strength of Lady Kira. This spirit channeling is proof that she's Lady Kira? This is not good. Proof she didn't channel... Yeah, I think I know what to do now. Couldn't have channeled her originally.
Objection!
Because she only got this book like a couple of days ago. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Contains the true name of Lady Kira, secret only revealed within. Abbott and me. I'm afraid you're mistaken. This couldn't have been used to channel Lady Kira. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain? That's why my client could have... Oh. Well, I guess there's also this.
Take that!
Kira's face is hidden behind a mask. You know, I don't know that it's ever been established that you need to see someone's face to channel them, in addition to the divination seance, but I guess that also works. Without a face, it would have been impossible for my client to channel Lady Kira. Oh my. Therefore, the claim that she became Lady Kira by means of spirit channeling is patently false. With Lady Kira out of the question, my client had no motive to commit murder. But then, who is the rebel hunting Lady Kira we've been reading about in the paper? Yes, who is this other suspect, if indeed there is one at all? Let us hear the defense's brilliant deduction. The true identity of Lady Kira is the key to solving both murders. Ms. Indy was suspicious, but her pregnancy takes her out of the running. Mr. Araval is a rebel, so that doesn't make sense. That... Look again. Yeah, there's some pretty hilarious animations in this one. Only you know you have to say something, but you can't figure out what it is. This is my chance to really turn up the heat. I'll just have to stir the pot till something floats to the top. Magistrate, I know who's been posing as the rebel hunting Lady Kira. You do? You sure about that? Completely. Since I may regret this, but please go on to explain. I mean, no. Probably not. No. Maybe? Probably no, because he's out of the country for a while. Pretty sure no. He was in prison. We're saying it's not her. If it's not him, you know, he has a fake name. He is a Kuraimus. He's been using a fake name for the past 2 years. Yeah. Huh. I think it's gotta be this guy.
Take that!
What's this? The High Priest murdered disciples, Lady Kira, you say? Peace, I say peace. The defense will continue. Yes, Your Majesty. I will look down the list of suspects until there's only one left.
Objection!
The process of elimination is not the same as solid evidence. I assume you have evidence to back up your claim. Yes, of course. Some at the moment, that is. At least I hope so. Neither was it Lady Kira. Neither was Miss Indy or any of the other possibilities. That leaves Zealot, and I have the evidence to prove it. I mean, yeah, 2 years ago. It's not proof, but... Only someone capable of entering the priest home could have delivered it.
Take that!
How absurd. What could that possibly prove? The prosecutor said Madi. You stated that this warning letter proved that my client was Lady Kira, and the reason you gave was that the High Priest's house was locked tight. But there was another member of the family who lived there. Therefore, Acolyte Zealot could have delivered the warning anytime he wanted. As you told me, just impossible. Are you saying Lady Kira was not the culprit, but rather the victim? That's exactly what I'm saying. But that would overturn the entire... He wasn't there as a rebel. He was there looking for rebels. He was looking for rebels, and somebody who was in there killed him instead. If the abbot's wife is a rebel, that would explain it. Trials proceed on the assumption that Lady Kira was behind the serial killings, but if Lady Kira is one of the victims, who was the killer and what was their motive? The suspect left is Miss Envy, and there's only one possible motive. What if Miss Envy is a rebel? What? Phoebe, you're still bent on casting suspicion upon my lovely wife? You have no evidence of this. Repent for the mistrust in yourself.
Objection!
Well, you have no evidence either. After all, the dagger with my client's prints on it wasn't what killed Acolyte Zealot. And the plumed Punisher theme that he heard could have been an alarm clock. It means all of the evidence linking her to the crime have been called into question. Is Lady Emilia a rebel, and did she pose as Lady Kira to kill Acolyte Zealot? Was Acolyte Zealot a rebel, and was the accused Lady Kira who killed the Lady Kira who killed him? I would say either scenario is just as likely. What are we to do now? Alarm clock, you say? Do you mean the one in the rebel hideout? Yes, but what of it? So that's it. It's gotten into him. What is so comical? Forgive my outburst. It simply tickled my funny bone. What did? The theme song came from the Blue Punisher clock, you say? That alarm could not possibly have gone off. What makes you say that? The clock was working just fine the last time I checked. Try using your head for a change. Would not the existence of a secret hideout be given away if an alarm kept going off? Wait, you don't mean... Indeed, we leave the alarm switched off at all times. In that case, I'm sad to say the defense's claim does not hold water. Would you care to respond, Mr. Wright? Oh, this can't be happening, not now. Should put an end to the lawyer's futile struggles. The theme song the victim heard was from the accused's strap, just as we suspected. Therefore, the accused is the rebel hunting Lady Kira and the victim's killer. I need an opening, something I can raise an objection to. So the Punisher theme song Acolyte Zealot heard in his final moments. I too heard it by way of the listening device. But did you really? If you heard it, why didn't you testify to the fact before? Is it not obvious? I did not know such a tune could become a key matter of dispute. Yes, the matter of the theme song came up before evidently was channeled. Alright, well then, what if he's lying about the clock's alarm being switched off? Miserable wretch. That would be a pointless lie, one easily disproven. If you check the clock, you will see that the alarm is in fact switched off. Come to think of it, what a fine item. The switch, if I'm right. Yeah. You set the switch back in the off position before we left. If I remember hearing it clearly, those distinctive taiko drum... Oh, really? The distinctive taiko drums, you say? Distinctive taiko drums in the intro. You know what? I'm gonna call it there. Because unfortunately it is actually really late and I need to call it for tonight. I will have to pick this up next time. It is unfortunately getting pretty late and I do have work in the morning, so I think I know where to move forward. But if you want a sneak preview, well, I would say there was a hint given in a previous episode, but if you asked me where it was, it's a while back, but I remember it was a thing that came up, and well, let's just say that this might turn into a crossover episode after all. And that's all I'm going to say about it until next time. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight's stream. Hope you enjoyed it. This case has been really fun, actually. I'm really liking the twists and turns and how it's gone, and how people have how they've handled things. So hopefully the next one will be the last one. But I'm not sure when it'll happen. Probably later this week. But yeah, looking forward to it. Hope you all enjoyed it. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. Yeah, have a good night, and we'll see you next time.